Being blessed with a sonorous radio voice, I assumed I could just get on stage, wing it, and I'd do fine. Fortunately, I met Laurie-Ann and got into her in-demand program before I discovered the hard way that I was wrong. Now I have a signature speech. I have a structure to build signature speeches, and my stunning good looks and sonorous voice will serve me very well as I give a coherent, well-structured, impactful speech instead of what I was going to wing left to my own devices. So thank you so much, Laurie-Ann, for teaching me what I did not know and keeping me out of trouble and making it so I can actually have the impact that I'm hoping to have by getting on stages.
Hello, all my Be in Demand listeners. You know that speaking is supposed to grow your business. But if you've ever walked off the stage or wrapped up a podcast interview and you heard nothing but crickets, I'm talking no leads, no DMs, no discovery calls, chances are you've made one of these 7 common mistakes, and smart entrepreneurs make them all the time, most of the time without even realizing it. In today's episode, I am breaking down 7 things not to do when you're using speaking as your best form of marketing. Things like giving away too much information, skipping your call to action, or sounding like you're speaking to everyone and at the same time, no one. But don't worry, this isn't just a list of what not to do. I'm also going to tell you what to do instead so that you can fix the leaks in your strategy and start getting seen as the expert and turn those talks into clients. Let's go. And if you are a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, you are in the right place because this podcast is all about how to leverage public speaking events to get positioned as the expert, monetize your message, and attract the right people. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, and you are listening to Be in Demand. You are my in-demand listeners. Let's get on to it. Have you ever walked off the stage and you felt like you did so well, like you crushed this talk, but then seriously, like nothing happened? I want you to know you're not alone. And this is super easy to fix. Most of the time, we don't even see our own blind spots. And that's exactly why I've hired so many coaches in my past, in my career, why I continue to work with coaches, because they help you see your blind spots. So I'm hoping that this episode is going to be me being your coach and helping you see your blind spots. So today I'm going to break down 7 mistakes that I see speakers, business owners, make all the time when they're using speaking as a marketing strategy, and how you're going to fix them. So let's get on with this. The very first one, there is no clear through line. And this means that you are all over the place. You're talking about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And your audience is sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, like, what room did I walk into? Now, that lack of a clear through line can also mean your speech title does not match what the speech is actually about. I have sat through presentations that I actually turned to my friend next to me and said, what room are we in? Where are we? Because I thought I was in a presentation about XYZ, LinkedIn, video, podcasting, small business ownership. So there's this disconnect from the title to the speech. Or let's just say like those two things match. The speech is all over the place. So here's what I want you to understand. Your audience needs to have a clear takeaway to remember you and refer you to other places to speak, refer you to other clients that might be a good fit for you. But in order to do that, your speech needs to be concise. Think of this as like a GPS system. You are going from point A to point B, and I want the most direct, quickest way to get there and not have to feel like I'm going to travel through 3 different states and take 3 times as long to get there. I want the straightest line possible to get me from point A to point B. Number 2 is there is no call to action. No meeting planner, conference organizer, or coach that's bringing somebody in to speak to their mastermind just wants a speaker for the sake of speaking. Everybody wants their audience to move from point A to point B. So not having a call to action is just like, okay, that was a fun educational talk. It's almost like going to your college class and the professor lectures, and at the end they say, oh, he says, okay, I'll see you next week. And each student's looking at themselves thinking, what's the assignment? Is there anything that we have to do? I mean, in the case of college, they might all slip out the back door thinking, great, no homework. But you want to give your audience homework. Now, whether they take you up on the call to action, whether they actually take that next step, that's going to be up to them, because they're going to have to determine, am I in the right position to do this? Is this the right timing for me? Am I the right person? Do I want this for? There's a lot of different questions that are going to be running through your audience's mind. But think about this as you want to make sure that you always have a call to action. And that's part of one of the goals for in-demand signature speech. One of the goals that I have my clients and my students inside the program actually write out, like, what is the call to action? What is it that you want the audience to do differently, to think differently, to behave differently, to believe differently? Because that's your destination. That's going to help you stay on track like the GPS system. So examples of call to actions could be to download a lead magnet. In my case, I love to use podcast episodes. Go listen to this particular podcast episode. You can have people text you codes so that they get lead magnets, so that maybe they book a session with you. A lot of times I also use, hey, book a speaker breakthrough session. Like, these are free, no cost ways for the audience to build trust with me, take another step forward before they actually commit to anything. But you've got to have a call to action. Okay, moving on here. Number 3. This is one of my pet peeves, but also, this one is so important. You speak on everything. That means you have zero expertise. So if I come to your speaker page on your website, there's a long laundry list of different things that you speak on. Or somebody asks you, like, hey, could I book you to come and speak inside my group, inside my program, my mastermind, my meeting? And you're like, yeah, sure. What do you want me to speak on? It's like, huh? Well, what do you speak on? Oh, I can speak on anything. So I want you to narrow down, what exactly are you an expert in? What are you claiming to be your expertise? Maybe you talk about health, diet, nutrition, premenopause. That seems to be a very, very hot topic now. Mindset, marketing. Here's my expertise. Claim your expertise, because specialists get paid. Generalists get ignored. Yes, you heard that right. I'm going to say it one more time. If you're a generalist, you're not going to get paid much. But if you're a specialist, you will. There are so many things that I could be speaking on, but I speak specifically on my area of expertise, which is how to write and deliver amazing presentations to use as your best form of marketing. Sure, I can speak on mindset. Sure, I can speak on health and exercise, but that would be such a disconnect with what my audience knows me for, because I have claimed a certain specialty. I want you to do the exact same thing. Do not speak on everything, because you won't be seen as an expert. Number 4, you didn't grab the audience's attention. Nothing gives away a newbie speaker like, oh, hi, thank you. My name is, after you've already been introduced, and I'm really excited to be here to speak on. I have seen this happen again and again and again. As a matter of fact, last winter, I was actually at an event, and for the first 15 minutes of a 45-minute session, the speaker was thanking the host for bringing him in to give him this opportunity to speak. And I was like, you are wasting so much time. There's an audience full of people who want to be able to work with you. But if you just spend so much time thanking The person who brought you in, it's like, oh, it's such a wasted time. And you didn't grab the audience's attention. So you want to grab your audience's attention. You want them to lean in and be curious about what you're about to teach them. So you've really got to grab people's attention so that you give them a reason to put down their phones, to ignore that latest beep, the latest text message or email that's come in. You want to give them a reason to give you their undivided attention. And as a side note in this one, it's not just the beginning, but it's also your voice and first impressions. So what I mean by this is, does your voice sound like you're confident? If it doesn't, people are not going to lean in. That first impression really matters. If you're unsure of yourself, your audience is going to feel that. They're going to feel that lack of clarity. And you have to own your expertise. You have to step into your power, believe in something. Here's my thought leadership. Stop waiting for the perfect thought leadership to show up one day. As a matter of fact, I believe it's just going to evolve over time. As I have learned, there are things that I used to believe about speaking that I no longer believe about speaking because I've learned more about neuroscience or technology has changed. Oh, yeah. My thought leadership is still foundationally still the same. I still believe that speaking's the fastest way to grow your business. But there are different things that I used to talk about that I no longer talk about. So stop waiting for everything to be so perfect. Own your expertise and your confidence will show up. It will be heard in your voice. And when your audience hears and feels your confidence, that also is going to get them to lean in. Before I move on to number 5, if you are listening to this episode and thinking, yeah, I've made a few of those mistakes, then it's time to stop winging it and start speaking strategically. That's exactly what we're going to do inside In Demand Signature Speech, the 2-day event. In just 2 days, alongside with a small group of brilliant business owners just like you, you're going to walk away with your signature talk. You're going to have a clear, client-attracting message, a catchphrase that you can use again and again and again. Confident through line, built-in calls of actions that actually convert. And you're going to learn about my in-demand signature speech framework that you can use again and again and again to grow your business from stage. Now, this is not another passive course. This is a get it done with you, support from me, so that you leave with a speech in hand and ready to book events this fall. Now, spots are super limited, and I'm keeping this group small on purpose. So I want you to grab your seat now. I'm going to put that link right down in the show notes, and you can DM me the word speak on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I will share that link with you as well. Now, let's get on to number 5, which is no authority section. An authority section is designed to make the audience feel safe, that they are in the right place and they should listen to you. This is not about bragging on yourself. It's about building psychological trust. Let me give you an example of what mine is, because what you don't want is you don't want it to be boring. You don't want it to seem like you're reading your resume, your LinkedIn profile. We don't want to bore the audience because we want to get them to lean in continuously throughout our presentation. So what you would hear from me is, if we've never met before, I'm a reformed, painfully shy gal who accidentally became a professional speaker. I have over 25 years of speaking experience, and I am proof that, and I kind of go on a little bit more. But it shares with the audience in a fun, conversational way. I've got 25 years of speaking experience. I used to be a reformed, painfully shy girl. So most of the people that are in the audience who are afraid of speaking or feel shy themselves are going to be internally nodding like, oh my God, she's just like me, or I'm just like her. And your audience needs to hear this specific section, because what's going through your audience's mind is they're wondering, yeah, but why should I listen to you? Why are you an authority on speaking on this? And your authority section gets them to lean back in. So you want to share just enough to position yourself as a credible guide so that they continue to listen to you. That way, when you have your call to action at the end, they're actually going to be raising their hand. The right people are going to be raising their hand. So that's number 5. Number 6 is overwhelming the audience with too much information. Oh boy, there was a time where I did this very, very early in my career. And I am so grateful to the person who came up to me afterwards and said, "Wow, that was a great talk. So much information. I have no idea what to do first." And he walked away. And that was the moment that I realized I overwhelmed my audience. Now, here's what's typically happening with people when they are giving so much information. They are trying to prove their value, trying to prove that they know everything about this subject matter, that they are the person, they have been studying this. And you don't need to do that in your speech. There is no way that I can share everything that I know about the public speaking world and how to craft a speech and deliver a speech in 45 to 55 minutes with any audience. I've got over 25 years of experience. And I actually share that towards the end as I move into my call to action because I want the audience to know. This is one of those subconscious seeds, by the way. I want the audience to know there is so much more that I can share with you. And here's what you need to do if you want to learn more, if you want to be in my world. So stop fire hosing your audiences with tons of information. It overwhelms them. And what does an overwhelmed mind do? It shuts down and it just walks away like, I can't deal with this right now. So give them just enough to pique their curiosity. Give them just enough to have a little win. Give them just enough so that they feel like, oh, here's another way to do something. Here's another perspective. Here's another way to look at this. Never underestimate the power of simplicity. And I want you to choose the most strategic points that will move people forward. You don't have to teach them everything. You just teach them the right things inside your signature speech. If they want to learn more, then they work with you. They come into your programs. They reach out. They book a sales call. Number 7, you're not leveraging the post-talk window. I've talked about this before. It's a 48-hour window. It is the prime time for influence and momentum, not just for the person who booked you, but also with the audience. So 2 different 48-hour windows. Here, one is to get you testimonials and referrals from the person who booked you. And the other 48-hour window is for the audience. You want to make sure that you email them. You DM them. They don't just get the download or the lead magnet that you're sharing with them or your slides. You want to make sure that they get that. But I also want you, and this is what I encourage my private clients to do, to email them over the next 2 days because they just finished your talk. They're very excited, especially the people who signed up and raised their hand for whatever your call to action is. Make sure you take advantage of that 48-hour window to keep them excited because the philosophy here is that as more time goes by after your talk, people start to forget what you talked about. So really use that 48-hour window very strategically. So those are the 7 things. Let me repeat them for you one more time. 1 is there's no clear through line. 2, no call to action. 3, you speak on everything and you're not claiming your expertise. 4, you didn't grab the audience's attention. 5, no authority section. 6, you are overwhelming the audience by telling them too much information in your speech. And finally, the last one, number 7, is you're not leveraging the post-talk window, the 48-hour window for influence and to keep the momentum going with your audience. So I hope that you found this really helpful. And these are the things that I want you to be avoiding so that you don't make these common mistakes because I want your audience to remember you. I want them to be raving about you and I want them to be referring you. And that comes by having a very strategic talk. Stop winging it. Stop saying, I'll put off writing my speech another day. I'll wait till I get booked to actually write my speech. I'll wait till I've written the speech in order to start pitching myself to get booked. So it's just a vicious circle. And if you're ready to stop making these mistakes and finally have a signature speech that attracts clients every time that you speak, I want you to join me for the 2-day in-demand signature speech event that I'm hosting June 3rd and June 17th. You will walk away with a done talk and ready to book stages for this fall. And to learn more and to reserve your seat, you can either DM me the word speak on Instagram or LinkedIn, or the link to the page to learn more and reserve your seat is at the very top of the show notes. I will make sure that it's there. So until next week, I want you to be in demand.